film and here with Director Frederick Snyder and actor-producer David Nett from Alice and the Monster. How did you guys meet?
It's a long
time. Actually, we first met through a mutual friend who's actually my co-director on this project, who I went to school with and I've known for 20 years. And then when I was off living somewhere else, you and Rick started working together in theater stuff. And when I came back,
we actually met well before that, because we did a play together in
Was that before I went
2000, yes. So
no, that's after I came back from Chicago.
Okay. Yeah. So I don't know the story either. Apparently we don't know the story, so maybe you can tell us how we met.
Oh, man. So who is Alice and who is this monster?
Alice is the main character of our show, and she's a woman in her early 30s who's doing well in her life, in her job, and she's beginning to find love, and then she's diagnosed with a brain tumor, which is the monster in the project. And so it's kind of a hybrid structurally of a kind of a romantic comedy romance picture and a story about cancer.
And what inspired you to get on board with this film?
Well, we've done the group of us have done a number of projects together, and we were looking for something that particularly that was great for Shannon, who plays Alice, and that was sort of a stretch from the sort of smaller scale stuff we've done before. And Andrew Deutsch, who's one of the writers and the creator of the project, had this idea while we were working on a previous project, and we worked on it for pretty much a couple of years before we felt like it was ready to shoot. So it's been a long commitment for us that now we're starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel on.
Yeah.
What are your goals for the project?
We designed it to be, we've done 2 previous web series together, the group of us, and we designed this one to be able to be released as a web series, a 7 or 8 part series, but also to cut as a feature film, which is part of the time that we took during pre-production. Was planning and development was planning the project so that it could be shaped like a feature film or shaped like an episodic. So right now the plan is to finish shooting it, and then like any independent project, is just to get the thing in the can, and then yeah, our release opportunities. The web world moves so quickly right now; it's difficult even to predict a couple of months ahead of time, much less 6 months or whatever. So as we are going into posts and stuff, we'll be deciding how we want to approach things, but probably film festival release as well as on the web.
What was it like on set? Have you been having fun making the film?
It's been incredible on set. We've got an amazing cast. Certainly the best cast I've ever worked with, and some fantastic locations. We just this last weekend we went up to a radiation oncology center in Sacramento, and they really rolled out the red carpet for us. And we had total run of the place and got to use their equipment and all their rooms. So that has been very fun. When you look at your watch at the end of the day and realize that you showed up 20 hours earlier, that's when it's maybe you question your sanity a little bit. But overall, I couldn't ask for a better experience. I just we could always want more time.
Yeah, time is a hard thing. The indie world is built on passionate people and kind of an economy of favors, and so we've got a little bit more money than we've had for previous projects, but micro budget doesn't even begin to describe how lean we're shooting. And so it requires everybody on board to be really passionate about the project, to be willing to give of their time enormously. It requires favors like the Radiation Oncology Center, RAS, that let us shoot there. To make the thing live and breathe in the real world, it just requires a lot of serendipity and a lot of favors and passionate people, and we fortunately have that.
Cancer is such a strong and relatable subject matter. How do you portray this? I mean, like 50-50 came out as like very comedic as well as dramatic. It's a difficult thing to do. So what kind of spin have you taken on it?
Well, that's actually where a lot of the development journey of this has been, is how do we tell that story without it being just soul-crushingly miserable? And what it has ended up being is really a rom-com structure with this cancer diagnosis as sort of the thing that keeps it from being happy. And it seems to come out to a good balance. I mean, this last weekend we shot a lot of the more serious scenes, and now that we kind of can see those interspersed with the more rom-com-y feeling scenes that we had shot up until then, it's really starting to have a nice balance where it's not just a cancer story, it's also a story about people, which I think is the goal.
Yeah. I mean, the ultimate reality is that people's lives are complicated, and they're filled with lots of things, lots of responsibilities, lots of opportunities, and just because somebody is diagnosed with cancer doesn't mean those other things stop as well. And that's, I think, a lot of projects that movies about cancer and things like that, they tend to they focus in on that aspect of the person's life, and the person is defined by this is the one who has cancer. And the reality is, Alice, in this case Alice, but in any person, they still have a whole bunch of responsibilities they have to deal with, and their lives don't stop because of the diagnosis. And that's really what the show has in it, is this is the totality of her life, and the cancer is a part of it, and it obviously an enormous obstacle, but it's a part of that.
Do you think you'll be tackling similar projects in the future?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard for us not to make stuff. I mean,
it is very. I mean, yes. I mean, it is very, very difficult for us to sit around and not have a project that we're working on or getting ready to start shooting. I don't know that I'd want to jump into another cancer story right away. It's a bit much. But one of the benefits of being independent, as we are, is that we don't have somebody saying, "Oh, you're the rom-com people. You do the rom-coms." So the next thing we do, I would really like to do something something a little more science fiction, perhaps. I'm actually looking at a meaning thing like that because.
What do you think about that?
Discussion.
Well, we've honestly got a pile of stuff that we've been developing. We're the group of us who produce these things are another 5 or 6 of us, and we're all directors and writers and actors, and so we've got a whole bunch of stuff that we want to do, and really the only limits are our time and the money that we're able to raise and passionate people we're able to find. So yeah, there definitely will be another project. It may be a smaller scale one next, so that we can rest. But yeah, there's lots more stuff on the horizon for us. We can't, if I feel like if we stop making things, none of us are going to be happy. So we'll continue to do so.
And where's the best place to follow your work online and to check out what you have coming up?
You can go to aliceandthemonster.com, facebook.com, Alice and the Monster, Alice and Monster on Twitter, and you can follow us. We've actually got a fundraising campaign going on in Indiegogo right now, as well as we go into pre-production or into post-production. So, and that's indiegogo.com, Alice and the Monster.
And is there anything to add to that, or?
No, I'm good.
Any extra Twitter, personal?
I'm David Nett on Twitter, N-E-T-T.
I'm Frederick Snyder on Twitter.
Okay, great. Well, I'll follow you guys. Thank you so much for this interview, and best of luck with Alice and the Monster and all of your upcoming projects.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for watching KD Chats. If you like the show, please subscribe. And if you're curious to know what I'm doing when I'm not interviewing, please click here. I'm also an actress and recently produced my first short film and would love for you to check out the trailer. Thank you.